What are you going to watch tonight if you're a sports lover? Are you going to watch the Matildas, the Ashes, Rugby League, maybe all three? But we're just over 3 and a bit hours away from the Matildas' opening match of the 2023 Women's World Cup. As the excitement builds, let's go live to one of the true pioneers of women's sport in Australia, the first ever Matildas captain, Julie Dolan, who joins me now from Stadium Australia. Julie Dolan, thanks for being so kind as to join us. How is the excitement levels for you today?
Oh, look, they're out of this world, as with every pioneering player. You know, to be an event of this size, of this nature, and it's the biggest women's sporting event in the world. We're all feeling a little bit emotional, probably a little bit jittery, but, you know, excited.
So you were the first ever Australian women's soccer captain around 1979. I read today that you had to have Lamington fundraising drives for the team. It wasn't like CommBank scholarship or whatever it is these days. Could you have envisaged back then the crowds, the atmosphere, the attention and the professionalism that we're seeing today?
No, and if we hark back to that very first international in 1979, I remember walking the streets and putting pamphlets in people's letterboxes so that they would know there was an international match happening. And, you know, we got 200 people. So that puts it in perspective, really. You know, I'm standing here, there's going to be 80,000 people raising the roof tonight, and it's going to be a massive atmosphere.
It is extraordinary that how women's sport wasn't treated as it should have been all those years. I mean, I remember interviewing Margaret Court once, who told me she won Wimbledon and got an umbrella and a bottle of perfume. What do you think it is that helped women's soccer take off worldwide and in Australia?
Look, if you look back at successive generations of Matildas who've done everything they can to put women's football on the map, then it's on the back of those efforts. And also, we've had a huge change in attitude towards female players and female athletes in general. So the athletes and the games haven't changed that much. It's more that the attitudes and opinions about females in sport have changed a lot.
Who do you see as the favourites for the tournament, and does Australia have a hope of taking it out?
Look, anyone can anything can happen in football, and Australia's certainly up there. We've got some runs on the board against the best teams in the world. We beat France last week, we've beaten Sweden, we've beaten England, and we've beaten the USA in the past. So, you know, the girls will be going in there probably quite confident. So, look, they can really do something in this tournament.
How much have you had to do with Sam Kerr, and what do you make of her as a person and a player?
Look, Sam Kerr's, you know, she's a global phenomenon, and, you know, she leads that team so well. But, you know, she also has a lot of other great players around her that can also bring home a game for the Matildas. We've got Gorry, we've got Ford, we've got Carpenter. So there's a great number of talented players in this team. So, you know, with Sam's support, I'm thinking we should be quite confident.
And finally, what's your prediction tonight in terms of the Australia versus Ireland clash?
Oh, well, Matildas win, and it'll probably be a tight game. Ireland are really known for their defence, so it's going to be hard to snag a goal, but I think the Matildas will bring home the win.
Julie Dolan, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a real pleasure. And these are live pictures from Eden Park in Auckland, where fans are streaming in to watch the opening game of the tournament. Before the Matildas play tonight, that first match between New Zealand and Norway kicks off in just under an hour. It's really seems like a Cricket World Cup where we've seen Australia and New Zealand host it. That game first in New Zealand, then the game in Australia. It's going to be a great few weeks ahead.